everyone, it's Ann. Today we're going to take a look at a brand new deck. Actually, it's a pre-release deck, not due to be out until November 8th, 2024. I'm recording this very, very early, first days of October. So it's about a month, according to Amazon. It's called Call of the Morrigan Oracle, a 45 card deck and guidebook. So there's a total of 45 cards in the deck. It's by Stephanie Woodfield and Karen Storminger. Art is by Naomi Kornock. It's in a hard case, magnetic, rectangular box. Very large box, as you can see. There's the side, the other side, and there's the back. It's published by Llewellyn. There's a few pictures of the cards in the back. Deepen your connection to the Morrigan on every level. And Llewellyn was the one who sent this deck out to me to review. So a big shout out and thank you to Llewellyn for sending this out early to me to review. So let's open it up. It is magnetic, as I mentioned. It opens up this way. The flap doesn't go down anymore. So I'll have to turn it this way. So there's ribbon. There's one ribbon. And then the guidebook lays horizontally across. There's a matching red ribbon to make it easy to pull up the guidebook. And the guidebook is also horizontal. And we'll take a look at the guidebook more in depth after we look at the cards. And then the cards are underneath. The ribbon also makes it easy to pull up the cards. This is cardboard, black, and it stays in place. All right, so that is the box. Hard case, as I mentioned, to keep your cards safe, protect your cards. And the cards are bound with this paper. All right. Here are the backs. And if you're not familiar with the Morrigan, it's actually a Celtic goddess who is associated with war, death, and faith. And she is a prominent figure in Irish mythology and is often depicted as a warrior. Her name translates to Phantom Queen or Great Queen. I had to look her up just to make sure because I did a quick skim through the deck. It looked a little dark. And I believe she can shapeshift, or she had many faces. So I believe she can shapeshift. So now we know a little bit about her, or at least we know what the deck is about. So as we go through it, and if it looks a little dark, you know she's associated with war, death, and faith. So it may be a little dark looking. The sides are not gilded. Of course, they're not reversible. Cardstock is matte, buttery, soft. A little on the thinner side. Not too thin, but it is thin. Flexible, bendable, pliable. And you can bend it. There is a sheen, but it feels papery. It doesn't feel plasticky. And they are Oracle card size, so definitely a lot taller and a lot wider than the traditional plaid back tarot card. So very large. I have petite hands. It covers my whole hand, just to give you an idea as far as size. Visually, as you can see, there is a black border around the cards. They are numbered, and then there is a name. So starting out, and I don't know all these names, so I'll try to pronounce them, but apologies if I mispronounce them. So this is B-A-D-B, bad. And in the guidebook, there is a reference in the back that shows you how to pronounce certain words. So that would be helpful. Matcha. Anu. Washer at the ford. Very expressive. Neiman or Neyman. Well, that's Maine. Neiman, Neyman. Apologies. Look at that. Shapeshifter. So she shapeshifts, as I mentioned. Sorceress. Fea. Lady of Sovereignty. Cholin or Chulin. Mananan Mac Lear. Leah Fail. So keep in mind this is Irish theme. There's a lot of ravens in this deck. Sword of Nuada. It's a pretty raven. Look at that. Look at the detail. Look at the claws of the raven. Wow. Look at that. The detail. Look at the feathers. It's beautiful. Cauldron of the Dagda. Wow. Sphere of Lug. Spear. I think I say sphere. It's spear. Spear of Lug. Look at the details on his face. Wow. Odrads. Goinu. It looks like he's working. Reminds me of the Eight of Pentacles in tarot. Meche or Meiji. Two snakes. Paps of Anu. See more ravens. The artwork is really pretty. Well of Slain. Owe Nugget. River Unshin. Leath Maka. There's two cards. Raven. Look at all the ravens. Ew. Wow. Cow. Wolf. Beautiful wolves. Tribe. Blessings. Battle. victory, peace, a little bit of nudity, feast. This reminds me of the Nine of Cups, or like Thanksgiving dinner. Fate, luck, shield. There's all the Celtic designs. Joining. Oh, it's like the Lover's energy in tarot. Joining. Incitement. Look at the expression. This card, this deck is very expressive. The facial, the faces. It's very animated and alive. Definitely depicting war energy, forgiveness. Consequences. Wow. Lots of symbolism too. Justice. Wow. Twins. Definitely tells a story. Death. So they have a death card in here. Oath. Offerings. And last card, cycles. So I guess it's sort of like the world go around, cycles of life. Wheel. Here's another look at the back. Let's take a look at the guidebook. Let's zoom out a little bit. Opens horizontally, semi-gloss pages. Llewellyn. So there is the authors. That's Stephanie. Then we have Karen. And then we have the artist, Naomi. So it's different. It's nice they put them at the front of the book instead of at the back. To the Morrigan, great queen who walks at our sides and brought us together. To Corey, who inspires to breathe new life into this idea. We love you. You are dearly missed. All right. So table of contents, using the cards, oracle spreads, oracle spells and rituals, conclusion, pronunciation guide. That's what I referenced earlier or mentioned earlier in the video. Suggested reading, bibliography. The call of the Morrigan. Take a deep breath and close your eyes. Around you is a comfortable darkness. Feel your body relaxing, your muscle loosening, and your mind opening to the messages to the Morrigan. The messages the Morrigan has for you. I'm not going to read more. I was only going to read the first sentence, but it was intriguing, so I thought I'd read a little bit more. All right, so there's a lot of writing. And then, does it go? So you get a color picture of each card. And then you also get keywords. And then a little story write-up. And a divinatory meaning section. Spell for manifesting and what you will need. And then the exercise. So it's a whole lot to do. Sorceress of the Tuatha De Danann, weaving words of power, conjuring flame. Okay, so that's still part of the what you will need. All right, so each card you get a black and white picture of the card, nice size. Keywords, a write-up description, little story, divinatory meaning, and then spell for manifesting, and then what you will need for the spell. All right. Nice guidebook. There's spreads as well, sample spreads. I have resources, online resources. Look at that, really pretty. Bibliography, suggested reading. And this is the pronunciation guide, so it tells you how to pronounce each of the words. So very nice. All right, so let's clear the deck and shuffle the cards and pull cards, see what we get. So because they are longer, a lot longer or taller than the traditional plaid back tarot card size, and I have petite hand, it is a little bit of a stretch, or a lot of a stretch for me to do overhand shuffle, but as you can see, it can be done. A little bit of a stretch. Now I feel like I have to crack my finger. Okay, vertically is a little bit easier, of course, because it's not as wide. And then this way is fine. I don't think I can riffle shuffle. I'll try. It's a big stretch. It will riffle shuffle for you, especially if your hands are larger. The cards will riffle shuffle. It's just a little difficult for petite hands to hold, but they do bend, so definitely will riffle shuffle. All right, so can we get a card for the collective viewers? Cycles. That one flips, so let's look at that. Cycles. So let's zoom in. Cycles. I think that was the very last one, but they're in numeric order. So card 45. Here we are. I don't know. I don't think you guys can read along with me and look at the cards, so we'll see how this will work. You can't. All right, so let's zoom in. You may not be able to see everything, you guys, because that's a big book. All right. Keywords: lessons learned, shadow work, learning from mistakes. Below, we see the shadow of two fairy swines herders watching their herds. Above them are the forms they will take in their battle with one another, finally ending with them clashing as magical brown and white bulls of the cattle raid of Cooley. Many Irish myths rely on the audience to know certain details from other stories. There are several remsila or pre-tales that influence the cattle raid of Cooley. In the De Chupfor and De Mukada, the origin of the two bulls, the cattle raid is fought over, is revealed. The bulls began as two fairy swine herds, Furic and Bodlibs. The two were said to have arcane knowledge and could change their shapes. While they had been friends, they eventually argue over who had the greater power between them. They transform into several different shapes, becoming 2 stags, 2 warriors, 2 ghosts, even 2 dragons, fighting one another. Eventually, they became 2 worms who were swallowed by the cows that birthed the 2 magical bulls of the cattle raid of Cooley. It is never clear whose side of the Morrigan is on in the cattle raid of Cooley. She offers aid to Chulain. She gives Maeve a warning in a dream, and she even speaks to one of the bulls to help him avoid being captured. In many ways, it seems the Morrigan is invoked solely to put an end to this otherworldly battle between the swine herders. When the bulls do finally meet, one does triumph over the other, finally putting an end to the dispute. All right, here's the good part. Divinatory meaning. I'll zoom in so you guys can see this section with me. Cycles remind us that the past can repeat itself if we let it. It speaks to both natural cycles and the ones we find ourselves locked in again and again. This card can represent the need to do shadow work so that we may uncover why we keep finding ourselves repeating our past mistakes. We can learn from our mistakes and remove ourselves from harmful cycles, but only if we step back and look at why we keep coming back to the same lessons over and over again. And then it has spell to let go of regrets. Sometimes we cannot break repeating cycles in our lives because we carry guilt and regrets. We return to things we know are not good for us because we wish the outcome to be different than it was in the past, which often results in the same outcome. Use this spell when you wish to release your regrets. And then it has what you will need, and then the exercise. So I'm not going to go through all that. So that gives you a very good idea of the book. But basically, this is the card. The message for the collective from this deck at this time is that we may be stuck in cycles. So I call it pattern, right? Since my background's healer. Same thing. Repeating the same pattern over and over. Being stuck. Getting stuck in the cycle. So you may have to do some shadow work. Go deep to the core issue and uncover why you keep on repeating the same mistakes over and over and over. And then learn the lessons, step back, and look at why you keep coming back to the lessons. And sometimes they say we were repeating cycle because we carry guilt and regrets. So if there are guilt and regrets that you're carrying or harboring that you need to release so that you don't repeat the same pattern over and over again. But the key words are lessons learned, shadow work, learning from mistakes. So basically it's about learning lessons and not repeating the same mistakes over and over. And I feel this is perfect message for the collective, right? Because we're going through the same cycle over and over and over again from lifetime to lifetime, war after war after war, pattern after pattern after pattern. So, especially with everything going on in the world. So, as a collective, this is the message from the Morrigan deck. Learning our lessons, doing shadow work, looking at it, letting the past go, releasing, and learning from our mistakes. Very, very good message and very timely message. All right, cycles. So that gives you an idea of the call of the Morrigan Oracle deck. It's a very deep deck. I think I'm putting the backs of the cards instead of the front of the cards. It would make sense if I flip them. All right, so I think this deck would make a great reading for, you know, challenging times, or like it says, shadow work, difficult times. It's a good time right now to read if you do world event readings or trying to figure out what's going on in the world. I think it's very good. I like the card that we picked. Very timely and accurate. All right. So as usual, if you are interested in the deck, I will put the links in the description underneath the video. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you again on the next video. Bye.